Yoga, Bombomti, Chini Tanchu,
You ain't messing with me, or you don't want to meet up with me, or you don't want to do something with me. Well, fucker.
Stopped. It's not the end of the world. Stopped. But there were some people that were hurt.
Right. That's what I was trying to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
And people are saying I'm the cause. Right?
Well, I'm trying to figure that out. Do you think people would be saying that too?
No, they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be. I didn't hurt anybody. That was the whole thing. Not my baby's mom. Mm-hmm. Not anybody else. That wasn't why I was out here.
That you were just trying to watch a basketball game with some friends, hang out with some new chicks.
That's it, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
But somehow you got drawn away from that.
I didn't.
You know what I mean? And you ended up talking to her.
My baby's mom.
Mm-hmm.
The money. But like I said, like, even with her, like, I know how to be like, I'm out. I'm out. Because I see where this is headed. I'm not. She will drive anybody to that point, especially if we had been in Milwaukee, mm-hmm. where it's a little bit more. The police come if they come, they don't if they don't. Sometimes the minor shit like that, they just be like, psh. Somebody bleeding and somebody need to go to the hospital. Okay, y'all was arguing. He told you to leave. Why you just didn't leave? Now if we do gotta come,
right?
And so it's usually that. And like I said, the majority of the time she does that. I'm gonna make sure you can't see your daughter. I'll get you locked up. You know you gotta open. She uses that.
Mm-hmm.
She uses it, and I know it's only when she's drinking. It's only when she's drinking. That's the only time. That's the only time. But it's like, yo, don't take my life away from me. Don't do that to me. When you know who I am. When you know what stage of my life I'm getting too old. I can't do this no more, dude. I already got health problems. My mama's diabetic, got health problems. Anything can happen. And it's just like, don't put me in a position to where I can't do anything to be a man and help my family. Mm-hmm. And take care of my children because you're mad, or you feel like you ain't messing with me, or you don't want to meet up with me, or you don't want to do something with me. Well, fucker. You know? Mm-hmm. And it's like, come on, man, domestic violence for yelling?
It's weak, but like when we were talking about the weed laws, remember I said, there's a lot of reasonable guys out there that are just gonna fucking toss it down the drain, you know, and move on.
Especially if it's not like you don't
right.
got pounds.
But you might get those guys that are vacuuming up the shake off the floorboards and dicking you over that way. Same thing with domestics. What you're thinking of and what your definition, your personal definition of what constitutes a domestic violence is the physical. There are provisions within the law. It's weak, but the law says that, yeah, if anything could be perceived as threatening, and it's about the person's perception, that's probably why they ended up holding those charges. You know, and I can't speak for, I don't work for Milwaukee County. You know Milwaukee County well enough that, like you said, they're swamped. One judge has got 400 cases backlogged. Nobody's getting their trials, you know, at the speedy time. Like, that might just be a problem with them. I haven't experienced that out here, but this is Waukesha County.
Right.
Like I was explaining last night, stuff goes down different here, you know, and whether it's a good thing, you know, because we have enough officers to pay attention to little calls, whereas like in Milwaukee, they don't got time for that because there's, you know, 3 shootings a night.
Right.
There's good things, and then there's bad things, like sometimes dumb stuff happens out here, too, where they're just being too overzealous with it. So I get where you're coming from with that stuff.
Now look. My mom's vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it? Is it impounded?
It's in Waukesha.
Will she be able to get it?
Eventually, yeah, she'll be able to get it when we release it to her. It's her vehicle. thought you said she couldn't drive though.
She can't.
Okay, but look, she would have somebody to help her.
No, I was just saying, would
Right.
she be able,
Yeah, she'd be able to get it back eventually, yeah.
or not even get it back, would she be able to, well, yeah, I guess get it back.
Mm-hmm.
So is it impounded, or is it evidence, is it at a tow lot, is it,
I believe.
I mean, that's not against the investigation to tell me that, is it?
No, it's in Waukesha right now. It's currently in police custody. I don't know if it's at a tow yard in police custody or if it's at.
And they notify her,
Yeah, we've talked to her. We've talked
so
to Dawn.
she should be able. Sound like it's more going on than just me and Erica.
I think it's related to you and Erica. I think Erica precipitated the event.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
My thing, like I said, man, y'all been straight up with me. I'm not trying. My only thing is like, I just want her to be honest about her part.
Mm-hmm.
Don't make it seem like I came out here to beat you up or to fight you or to do anything aggressive to you, because if that was the case, it would have been, people would have been out there like, yo, this guy's out here beating up this girl in front of everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Get his ass up out of here. Like, you know what I'm saying? It would have been that if that was, oh, I'm intending to come be Billy Badass and blah, blah, blah. And she know that's not even me.
Well, does it make you feel better to know that she's getting re-interviewed too? I know you want her to tell the truth, just like we
It does
started
feel
talking to you last night and then we came back.
But
She's
who's
also
going to do it?
It's Detective Guth and Detective Barrett, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I know they talked to her yesterday. They were going to go back and talk to her again today. Knowing that we know now, that's why my partner and I got to make those phone calls. This is what he's saying. This is what she is saying. But again, that's only part of what happened yesterday. So.
Yeah. So this is my thing between me and you, Ben. What if it wasn't me driving?
What if it wasn't you?
What if it was my mom's truck,
Mm-hmm.
but I wasn't driving?
Mm-hmm. What if it was you?
What if it wasn't me?
Mm-hmm. Who else would it be?
That's what I'm asking. Not asking you who else would it be.
Right.
I'm just asking, what if I knew?
Mm-hmm.
Would I be asked to give that information?
Well, like I said, we're here to gather truth. So if somebody else was driving that car, yeah, I would want to know who that car is so we can go talk to that person. But a huge part of that is going to be your honesty with it.
Right. No, I was just asking.
Because
Just asking.
you've already figured out you're not an idiot. You're not a dumb man. You're a smart guy.
Right.
I see that. You know that we've been working on this. And you know that we're gearing for the honesty portion of it.
Yes, sir.
And my partner already explained that, we're not looking at obstruction or getting in trouble for that. You know what I mean? Because, yeah, okay, you fibbed on some stuff. Not the end of the world. People fib on it. I get it because it's self-preservation. Like you said, you don't want to make more trouble for yourself.
My thing is, I just don't want to get charged with something that I didn't do. Now, with something that I did do,
Mhm.
dead to rights, I'm willing to be like, I did that. I just don't want to be charged with something that I didn't do. Because that's what they always do. And they make you either pay your way out or fight your way out of a situation that you never should have had. I don't think that part of it is fair.
Mhm.
Because at the end of the day, that's, if you got to spend money, that's money spent that you might have had something else that you had to do. That's gone. Or you may have to do something else that you might, and it's, you know what I mean? It's just, the situation is crazy because it's like, you got to, it's either, what, in Milwaukee, and what I've seen all the time, it's either or. You see some guys, like, for example, I know a friend that somebody was like, yes, and I'm not finna cooperate with no thing. I'm not coming to courts, I'm not doing any of this, which means they're gonna have to dismiss the case. But it's just the hassle of having to go through. That's money spent that I can't get back. That's time in jail spent that I can't get back. I had to sit all that time. I had to lose some stuff just because somebody said something. Not okay, we caught this dude in the act. We can prove that he did this. We can prove that he did that. Just some, oh, I was drunk and angry.
Sometimes, though, you know, even if we can prove, and you kind of alluded to this where you understand it, is sometimes we can prove something, but that doesn't help us understand the why, or those circumstances, or the reasons. You know what I mean? And that's why people get asked to tell us those things. That way there is a fuller understanding of those reasons. And it's not just blindly, this guy did it, and let's assume the worst about him.
Yeah, because that's what I felt like just now.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I'm starting to get a clear picture, like, okay, so somebody obviously got hurt. Somebody somewhere in this whole situation got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
That's on me. That's how he had me making it seem like it's on me. That is going to lead to a charge.
Is it on you?
No, that's what I'm trying to say. But the charge, even the assumption of even making somebody have to pay or fight their way out of it is still having to go do it.
Right.
On top of what I already got in Milwaukee. So it's like, boom, boom, boom. I'm already facing prison time here. And now I'm facing more prison time on top of already facing prison time. At my age, it's a lot to handle, knowing what I got out there.
100%.
You know what I mean? Knowing that I'm looking at not, it's no guarantee you're even going to see tomorrow. So, like, who would want to have their last moments in a place like this, or in a cell somewhere, or in a jail somewhere, and you got beautiful girls out there that you want to see grow up? My sister never got a chance to see her kids grow up because she passed away.
Sure.
You know, so it's like, it's just daunting because it's just like, oh my God, man, you know what I mean? It's hurtful.
So you brought that up, where you don't want to see anybody.
What are those?
I'll show you in a minute.
Oh, okay.
You don't want to see anybody get hurt, or sorry, you don't want to see anybody get charged for something they didn't do. But you already brought up, too, that if somebody did something, that they should be held accountable for it, and that you're willing to accept responsibility.
What's going on with
if
that?
it's.
Can I show you something?
You look like you gotta film me or something.
No, I'm not filming you.
Are included offenses. Did you hear me advise you of these challenges, sir?
I did hear you advise me of them. I don't see them as challenges, Your Honor, at all.
The court must also advise you.
Film me or something.
No, I'm not filming you. That you? That's you.
Nah, I ain't got no, it look like whoever, it look like Gray.
Right there. You can see your face.
Nah, that's not me.
That's not you.
That's not me. Nah, that's not me.
That's not you.
That's not me.
That's not you.
No, I don't.
Darrell.
That's a
Darrell.
Gray.
That's you.
That's you, Darrell.
Why you say it like that, man?
Because we talked about the honesty piece. You keep telling me that you tell the truth when you did do something. You
There's
take
your mom's car.
responsibility when you do something.
There's your mom's car again. There's your mom's car again. Next to a child, which I know you care a lot about, children.
Next to a child from some other.
Yeah. Uh-huh. It's your mom's car.
Yeah, I was just asking him about my about
That's your mom's
what's
car
going on with that.
that we took the key for from you. So, you can't tell me at this point I'm playing any games anymore, you know?
I didn't say you was playing games from the get-go.
Well, you felt like
Just
we weren't being totally straight.
last night I felt like
It wasn't
y'all-
as fluid
y'all knew
as you wanted.
no, it wasn't the flu. It was just
And it wasn't as much as I wanted
I
either.
knew that y'all knew more than what y'all was saying, and I felt like last night with that whole, them coming in the way they did, and cause I'm sitting there in the thing and I'm watching them walk past, like, what in the hell? And seeing that, I just felt like, okay, y'all already know what y'all want to do, what y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all just want. I didn't know what y'all want. It just seemed like y'all knew more than what y'all was gonna tell me. It was more so like I feel like I was being railroaded to be like, okay, tell me this.
Thank you, sir. Please have a seat, at least initially, or do you want him to stay standing?
No, actually, you can start out seated, please.
Very well. Sir, would you please state your first and last names for the record and spell each?
Yes. My name is Sergeant David, D-A-V-I-D, Wanner, W-A-N-N-E-R.
Thank you. Go ahead, Attorney Opper, your witness.
Thank you. Sir, how are you employed?
I'm a patrol sergeant with the City of Waukesha Police Department.
How long have you worked in law enforcement?
18 years.
And as patrol sergeant, what are your general duties and responsibilities?
I oversee officers across all shifts that are assigned to the patrol division.
Want to direct your attention to the date of November 21, 2021. Did you work that day?
Yes.
Were there any events occurring in the city of Waukesha that afternoon?
The Waukesha Christmas Parade was that afternoon.
The parade.
Yes, there was a
Overruled. You may answer.
There is a lady from the Chamber of Commerce who put on the parade that just prior to the parade starting, I had a face-to-face contact with to inform her that the route was ready for the parade.
Now, how do you know that? How do you know that the route was ready to go?
Between 3:30 and 4 o'clock, I had driven the route several times within the parade route on the street that was shut down. It was my duty as the incident commander of the parade to make sure that the officers or personnel assigned to the parade were all in their location, that all the barricades were in place, that there was no holes in the parade route that we missed in the planning, and as a final security sweep of the route just to ensure everything was in place as we had planned for it to be.
Can you estimate how many spectators were present?
Objection.
At what time?
I'm sorry, at the start of the parade.
Thousands. Once the parade had started, I was not on the route anymore. I think the last time I drove the route itself would have been just before 4 o'clock as my final lap through.
Okay. And there's spectators on both sides of the road, north and south sides of Main Street?
Correct.
And all the way from Hartwell all the way down to Veterans Park at the end there near Wisconsin Avenue?
Yes. The spectators are primarily from the intersection of White Rock and Main Street westbound.
So you were satisfied it was appropriately safe to start the parade, is that right, sir?
Yes.
What did you do?
I had face-to-face contact with the organizer of the parade. I indicated to her that I checked the route, and from the police side of things that we were ready for the parade to proceed, and let her know that she could begin whenever she was ready.
About what time of day was that?
It was right about 4 p.m.
And you had mentioned the units were staging on White Rock near where you were posted, is that right?
Yes.
And did you see, as the units would enter the parade route, then they all kind of move forward, I'm assuming?
Yes,
Overruled.
the parade participants are set up on either side of White Rock Avenue, and they're kind of funneled together into almost a zipper type fashion as they enter the parade route.
And as they march forward towards the parade route, then at some point is the road behind them vacant?
Correct.
And what do you do when that happens?
We try to cause as little disruption in the city. Shutting down White Rock Avenue, it's a very major thoroughfare in the city, and having it shut down for that extended period of time causes some pretty significant traffic problems. So as the road is no longer occupied by parade participants, we try to open up the road from behind them, keeping the back of the parade shut down, always taking into account a street for a car to turn off onto. So
Objection irrelevant.
Overruled. You may answer.
I did not hear of any vehicles associated.
What do you remember next, sir?
I remember seeing and hearing squads responding to this fight at Frame Park, and at that time we were still focused on opening up the roadway, and I made my way back toward my unmarked police vehicle, and I looked to my right or to the north down White Rock Avenue, and I saw a red SUV traveling toward me at a high rate of speed.
What do you mean by a high rate of speed, sir?
Objection, that's hearsay.
Overruled. He may answer.
I believe the vehicle is traveling in excess of 40 miles per hour.
What's the posted speed limit there on White Rock Avenue?
It's a 25 mile per hour zone.
What about Main Street in downtown Waukesha? What's the posted speed limit there, sir?
The speed limit
Objection irrelevant.
Overruled. It's relevant.
the speed limit throughout the parade route is 25 miles per hour.
What did you do when you saw this red SUV traveling at a high rate of speed?
Objection, leading the witness.
The objection is noted. It's overruled.
When I saw the red SUV traveling toward me at a high rate of speed, I used both hands and waved them overhead like this in an attempt to catch the attention of the driver.
Were you dressed in a police uniform, sir?
Yes.
Let
And-
me just put on the record when the witness, so that's clear, placed both hands over his head in what I would describe as a waving kind of back and forth at a diagonal gesture. Thank you. Go ahead.
Did the car continue in your direction, or the SUV?
Yes, it did.
What did you observe the path of travel for the SUV to be?
Objection, that's hearsay.
Mr. Brooks, it's not hearsay. Your objection is overruled. You may answer.
Could you state the question one more time?
Sure, where did you see the SUV go? Better question.
Objection, irrelevant.
Overruled.
The SUV entered the parade route.
I want you to describe what you remember seeing as it passed your location, please.
As I was waving my hands overhead, I was approximately 6 feet from where the SUV was driving. As the driver passed essentially in front of me by about 6 feet, I could see the operator of the vehicle and just a dazed, straight, focused look straight ahead, not looking at anyone.
Did the driver appear to respond to your efforts to stop the vehicle?
There was absolutely no response.
Did you notice the car slow down in any fashion?
No, in fact,
That's hearsay.
It's not hearsay. It's overruled. He may answer.
as the SUV passed me, I looked over the hood of, or the top of the police vehicle that I had positioned on the road there, fully expecting that as it passed that I would see the car slam on its brakes as it realized it had entered the parade route, figuring it was a lost motorist. I didn't see that happen. It continued into the parade route at a high rate of speed.
What did you do?
Upon seeing that, I got on my radio in an attempt to notify other personnel assigned to the parade route. I stated that a red SUV had just blown by me. Is the most terrible thing I ever heard.
The sounds. Yes. You didn't see anything at that point as far as people getting hit?
No.
Okay. After you became aware that something terrible was happening on the parade route, your incident commander, what do you do?
I drove in my police vehicle down toward the area that I just heard repeated over and over on the radio where the casualties had taken place, and that would have been at Main and Gaspar. And once I got to that position, I parked my vehicle as it was impossible to drive any further.
Was there a call made for assistance?
Yes, I don't know who said it, but an officer used a code over the police radio basically requesting police assistance from any officer in the county that would be listening.
Did multiple officers respond
Yes.
from within Waukesha County?
From when,
Objection irrelevant.
Overruled.
Waukesha County and far beyond.
Thank you, sir.
All right, your question, sir.
In that clip, is it fair to say that you can see that there are people walking in the street and on the sidewalk? Would that be fair to say?
Yes, I could see that in the video clip.
Do you see anybody being targeted or being in a panic to get away from the vehicle?
No.
Do you see the said driver of that vehicle intentionally trying to hit anyone in that video?
No.
So,
I'm a detective,
How long have you worked in law enforcement?
over 25 years.
And, directing your attention to the date of November 21, 2021, were you on duty that day, sir?
Yes, I was.
In what capacity?
Well, my rank was detective, but I was assigned to the Christmas parade as traffic control.
Okay. Just helping out?
Just helping out.
All right. And have you patrolled the Christmas parade in the past, sir?
Yes, I have for many years.
Okay. As a detective, you typically dress in plain clothes, is that correct?
Typically,
That day, were you in plain clothes or a police uniform?
I was in a police uniform.
Could you describe that for the jury, please?
I had a jacket on that had shoulder patches on each side. I had a hat that said police on the top of it. And I had a neon vest on that said police on the front and back of it.
Were you driving a squad car?
I had an unmarked squad with me, and I also had a marked Ford Explorer with me.
And the unmarked squad, are there any red and blue emergency lights on that squad, sir?
Yes, there are.
In more than one location?
Yes, the front, rears, and then the sides.
Okay. At your post there on White Rock and Main Street, did you have your unmarked squad parked there?
Yes, I did.
And then there was also a marked squad parked there.
Correct.
Were the red and blue lights activated on those squads?
Yes, they were.
What was the purpose in activating the red and blue lights?
To notify traffic that the road was closed down, make it easier to see.
Okay. And you said you reported for duty at 1 p.m.?
Yes.
And about what time was it when you actually went down to the parade route and shut down that intersection?
Right when I got there at 1 p.m.
Okay. So that area was closed since 1 p.m. that afternoon?
Correct. So the area on White Rock Avenue between Niagara and Main Street is the staging area for the parade floats when they come in. So they close that area about 3 hours earlier before the parade starts.
I see. What was the weather like that day?
It was very cold and windy out.
What time was the parade supposed to start?
4 p.m.
And do you know about how many units were participating in the parade?
There were 67 units that were assigned that day.
And all of them are told to report to the staging area to line up before they get onto the parade route, is that right?
Correct. The roadway is closed in my position, and they're all supposed to enter from the north and come south.
Okay. How many spectators would you estimate were present at the parade?
Oh, there had to be at least 5,000 people. The parade route is about 0.6 of a mile long. The sidewalks were packed. There were some people in the roadways, so we estimate that there was probably at least 5,000 people watching the parade that day.
Okay.
Yes, they did.
Okay. Please play. What's that vehicle, sir?
It's a support vehicle for the dancing grannies.
To your knowledge?
No, just sort of random. They're handing out candy, walking around, and no specific place.
Okay. Play. Do you know about how many people are involved with this unit?
Overruled. You may answer.
I would estimate about 35 girls, younger age, varying.
Okay. And again, they started with a banner in the front.
Yes.
Did they have a support vehicle involved as well?
Yes, pickup truck that there were 2 people in the back of the bed, which were resupplying the candy for the people. Barris Logistics, you can see the pickup truck that's pulling a float that has the Grinch on the back.
Okay. Please play. And now at the 103 mark, we've paused it. What's the next unit coming into view?
This would be the Waukesha South High School Marching Band.
Go ahead. And if you could pause, what's that unit right there in the middle?
Well, there's the mascot first for the Waukesha South Band, and then directly behind that is the Remax Realty support vehicle.
Okay. Is it easy to distinguish the Remax vehicle?
Yes, they had a big hot air balloon basket on the back, and they had a flame that was blowing out the top. That was
Okay.
very noticeable.
Okay. Please play. And we're gonna stop it there at about the 2:15 mark, so that's the Remax group going through, correct, sir?
That is correct.
Okay. Are those the 8 units that were most directly impacted by Mr. Brooks' actions on the parade route, sir?
Yep.
I do not recognize that name or consent to being called that.
Your objection's noted, it's overruled.
Yes, they were.
In addition to that, there were some spectators that were injured, is that correct, sir?
Correct. There's, I would say, 3 different groups of people, spectators that were sitting on the side of the roadway that were also injured.
Okay. At some point, did you and other members of the Waukesha Police Department attempt to identify all the individuals who were injured as a result of Mr. Brooks' actions on the parade route?
Objection, I do not consent to being called that name.
Overruled.
Yes, we did.
And about roughly how many people was that?
There are over 60 people that were injured that we identified.
Okay. Were you able, through your investigation detective, to determine where along the parade route each of these individuals were located at the time they were injured?
Yes, we were.
All right, sir. Through your investigation, were you able to determine who was the first person struck by the defendant's vehicle?
Yes, I was.
And who was that?
Nicole White.
And she was with the Remax group?
Yes.
And where was she when she was struck, if you could show us on the diagram?
She was on West Main Street, just west of Northwest Barstow Street.
Okay. I see it, yep. Okay.
Should I clear it now?
Please?
Yes.
Okay. The next unit to have been struck by the defendant's vehicle was what?
The Waukesha South Band.
And we see the names of the individuals in the band that were injured by the SUV, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and that location you've identified near the subway and another business known as the Vino Gelato. Now, Detective Casey, I would like to return back to your post on White Rock Avenue and Main Street on November 21 of 2021. And do you remember something happening around 4:35 p.m. that afternoon, sir?
Yes, I do.
What do you remember?
You know, it was a normal day. It was windy out. It was cold. A little bit after 4 p.m., I heard on Channel 1, which is a primary channel that our road squads use. Squads being first, I heard a reserve officer call out that he's out with 2 people, and they reported that there was a fight down by the boat launch.
Okay. Did that draw your attention for any reason?
It was just a little bit north of my location, and I just wanted to make sure that I was aware in case somebody came my direction.
Okay. But you didn't leave your post?
I did not.
Okay. What do you remember happening next, sir?
They dispatched a number of squads there to attempt to locate this incident.
What did you do?
You know, I started just paying a little bit more attention. I stood up, I started looking in that direction just to try to be aware in case somebody came my way.
Okay. At some point, did you hear a radio transmission from Sergeant Warner?
I am aware of the transmission, but I did not hear it that day.
Okay. How did you become alerted to a problem?
It was about 4:37 p.m. I was standing up. I was sort of in the diagonal part of the intersection, and I heard a horn blaring, beep, 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 and that sort of like alerted me, trying to figure out what was going on White Rock in the staging area. So I started to look up that way.
Okay. What did you see?
At first, I didn't see anything, and then a few seconds later, I saw the people in the staging area start to spread apart, and within seconds, a red Ford Escape appeared to come through where the staging area was.
You saw this with your own eyes.
Yes, I did.
And did you see where the red Ford Escape went?
Yes, I did.
Where did it go?
Well, first it was coming down southbound. There was a vehicle that was stopped at the intersection in the lane that was supposed to turn to the left that was part of the parade. This vehicle went around that car and then made a started to make a left-hand turn.
Okay. What action, if any, did you take?
You know, as soon as I heard the car beeping and I was alerted, I started to head towards the center of the intersection. As the vehicle continued at me, I ran to get in front of the vehicle to try to get it to stop.
What was going through your mind at this point?
I thought it was just a lost motorist, somebody that from the apartment building that wanted to get in their parking spot. You know, it doesn't happen often, but sometimes there's people that come through. They're impatient. What's going on? It's like it's a parade, and we have to tell them, hey, you can't be on the road right now. They always stop. It's
So you thought there was some innocent explanation at this point?
Correct. I thought I would get out in front of the car and he would just stop. We'd have a conversation and we'd safely get him off the parade route.
Okay. How did you try and stop the car, the Ford Escape?
Well, at first I was a little surprised that the vehicle kept coming at me because I'm in full police uniform. I'm standing in front of it and it started closing the distance pretty fast. So as the vehicle approached me, I started pounding on the hood.
So you were close enough to pound on the hood of the car?
Yes, I was in the roadway and the distance closed really fast.
Okay. How fast was the car traveling, would you say?
It could be 3 to 5 miles an hour, but in that area with all the people around and a vehicle that weighs 2,000 pounds against a person, I mean, it came upon me very fast and was very threatening.
Sure, but I mean, by the speedometer, it's not moving very fast, correct?
Correct.
At this stage?
Correct.
Okay. So you pound on the hood.
Correct.
Do you say anything?
I'm yelling stop and pounding on the hood and trying to get the person's attention so they can stop.
What happened?
The vehicle continued going. It like pushed right through me.
Were you struck by the car?
Yes.
How?
The vehicle contacted my body, and as it continued, I pushed down the left front of the vehicle.
Okay. And were you injured?
No.
Okay. Did you see the driver of the car as it raced past you?
Yes, I did.
Did you get a good look?
An excellent look.
Who was driving that car, sir?
Darrell Brooks, the defendant.
You're 100% sure of that?
1,000.
Was there anybody else in the car, sir?
Not that I saw.
Any permission to publish?
Object.
Your objection is noted. It's overruled. Exhibit 120 is received. Permission to publish is granted.
I don't consent to being called that name or defendant.
Your objection's noted.
Objection for hearsay as well.
Overruled.
Okay, detective, please help the jury see what we're supposed to see. Where is the red SUV? Dumb question.
So it looks like a person that's involved in the band. one of the band people are to your right in the center. And then right in the middle of the screen, you see a red vehicle. And then seated at the driver's seat is a gentleman with a white hoodie on.
And appears to be black facial hair, is that correct?
Correct.
Is that what Darrell Brooks looked like as he drove past you just a block or two earlier?
Objection. I do not consent to being called that name. I do not know anyone by that name, nor do I agree to being called that name. And it's hearsay.
It's not hearsay. Your objection's overruled. You may answer, Detective.
Yes, that's the defendant, Darrell Brooks, the person that drove past me and didn't stop when I tried to stop the vehicle.
Is that how he looked as he drove past you?
Yes, it is.
With the hood up?
To be honest with you, I don't remember the hood up when he went past me. It happened very fast. I could only see the outline of his face. I know some people later on.
All right. Just let me consult here 1 second. I think I'm done for right now, Your Honor. I don't have any other questions for this witness at this time, Your Honor.
Right, Mr. Brooks, I will give you an opportunity to cross-examine, but that will be Monday morning.
Yes, I do.
Would you state what that is? What that was, rather?
I heard a horn beeping, and then a Ford Escape came through the parade route, and you drove past me and wouldn't stop, and you continued driving into the parade route.
Who is you?
Darrell Brooks, the defendant, seated at the table.
Let the record reflect that I do not identify by that name, nor do I know anybody by that name.
Your objection is noted.
So, you heard a horn beeping.
Yes.
Was it coming from the vehicle that you tried to stop?
I believe that it was.
You stated that you've been in law enforcement for 25 years. That's a long time. So it would be fair to say that you operate a motor vehicle pretty much every day. Would that be fair to say?
Yes, I operate a motor vehicle almost every day.
And would it be also fair to say that you would only beep your horn in a motor vehicle if you were trying to alert someone to your presence?
I think that could be a fair statement.
Would it be also fair that you would beep your horn to avoid any danger?
There could be many reasons why a person is beeping their horn.
Would one of those reasons be to avoid danger?
It could be, yes.
Do you recall if you were able to see who was operating the vehicle you attempted to stop?
Yes, I was.
And can you recall a description of the operator of the vehicle you attempted to stop?
He was light-skinned, black male. He had some light facial hair.
Is that all you recall?
That is what I recall.
Do you recall what they were wearing?
No, I do not.
So you were able to get a description of how the operator of the vehicle looked, but not what they were wearing?
That is correct.
Do you recall how fast the vehicle was going at the time you attempted to stop it?
I believe the vehicle was going about 3 to 5 miles an hour when I tried to stop the vehicle, and it continued on past me.
would it be fair to say that 3 to 5 miles an hour is not very fast?
I think it's very fast when you're in a parade route, when there's hundreds of people marching in the road and a police officer isn't standing in front of your car, pounding on the hood, trying to get the vehicle to stop. I'd say that that's too fast. Any speed is too fast on a parade route when you have all those people in the roadway. A car should not have been there.
That wasn't the question, but thanks for the commentary.
Sustain the objection.
At any time, could you see the driver clearly? At any time during your attempt to stop the vehicle?
Yes, at any time I could see the person clearly that was driving.
The entire time you attempted to stop it, you can clearly see the driver of the vehicle?
Well, at one time you asked any time, and then you asked the entire time. So
Detective Casey, just answer the question, please, if you can. If not, say you don't understand it.
I don't understand it.
Just a second. Did you observe the vehicle strike anyone when you attempted to stop it?
No, I did not.
Did you see the vehicle strike anybody before it approached you?
No, I did not.
Would it be fair to say that there were hundreds of people present at the time that you attempted to stop the vehicle?
Yes, there were hundreds of people there.
And you saw no one struck by the vehicle?
That is correct.
What did you do after attempting to stop the vehicle?
I first got on my radio and advised the other units that were in the parade route that red Ford Escape had went past my position. I requested additional squads be sent 1039, which means red lights and siren. Shortly after that, I began running after the Ford Escape in an attempt to stop it, but the vehicle sped up to a speed that I couldn't keep up with it until it hit the next position.
Position that you just described for us.
Yes, I did, until the vehicle was getting to the point where I believed that it was going to strike me, so I moved out of the way.
Were you saying anything?
I was saying stop to indicate to the driver that stop the vehicle.
Were you saying that in normal conversational tone, or did you raise your voice at all?
I was yelling to get the attention of the driver.
Your testimony is that you stayed in the position with your left hand extended in a stop motion for about as long as you could until you felt you had to move away to avoid being struck by the SUV?
That is correct.
If the SUV was coming directly towards you, did you step to the right or the left of the SUV?
I would have stepped to the right of the SUV, which would be the driver's side of the vehicle.
Okay. Were you able to see the driver of the vehicle as it went past you?
I was able to get a general description of the driver.
What do you remember?
I remember the driver to be a male black, wearing a gray or white shirt, and appeared to be wearing a hat or have their hood up.
Okay. Would you say you got a good look at the driver's face?
I would say yes, I got a relatively good look at the driver's face.
Okay. Did you observe any facial hair on the driver?
At that time, I did not.
And did the car go right past you, sir?
Yes, it did.
As it went right past you, did anything obstruct your vision to see into the car?
No, it did not.
Were you able to see into the car, the SUV?
Yes, I was.
Did you see any other persons in the SUV?
I did not. There was only one sole occupant, which would be the driver of the vehicle.
As you were yelling at the SUV to stop and holding out the stop sign, did the vehicle stop?
The vehicle did not stop.
You can take your time. I'm sorry. I know this is a lot of questions, so.
I observed the vehicle swerving side to side. People flying from the vehicle, items flying in the air, things like that.
Do you know, Officer Buttrin, as you have to reflect on this in your testimony, who was being struck? Do you remember a uniform or a description of any type?
There was so many things flying at that point, I don't know what was being struck.
Okay. Now, you were trying to keep up with the vehicle, right, on foot?
Yes, I was.
To be clear, there's no squad cars chasing the defendant's vehicle, correct?
Not at that time, no.
Okay, just officers on foot trying to catch up.
That's correct.
And at any point did you see the vehicle just pull over to the side of the road and stop?
Objection. Hearsay.
Overruled.
From the time that I could visually observe the vehicle, I did not see it stop or pull to the side of the road.
The video shows that you can clearly see. Well, and let me rephrase that. Would it be fair to say that the video that was shown, you can clearly hear the vehicle honking?
No.
Can we play the video again for the witness?
You want it? Which one? Which video? Squad video? That's the one you're requesting, the squad video?
Pause it right there. So at the time, we see you running over to where this white, I think that's a pickup truck. Is that you?
Yes.
At that time, had you heard the vehicle honking?
I don't recall.
What prompted you to move so quickly to jog towards the area that you were jogging to?
The radio traffic that I had heard.
So at that time, did you see a vehicle approaching? Wait, I still want to play that. At that time, did you see a vehicle approaching?
From my position here, I don't know exactly when I had observed the vehicle.
Continue playing. Pause right there. Would it be fair to say that that was not just a horn that was heard honking after the vehicle was past you?
I did not hear a horn, no.
Rewind it back. I can hear a horn.
Sir, you can't testify, so you can ask a question of this witness, we'll watch it again,
When?
but at
Let
some
me ask
point
you-
you can't argue with
Let
him.
me ask this question. When did you observe or hear the vehicle honking? At which part in this video?
At no point in this video do I hear the horn honking.
But you did in fact hear the vehicle honking.
Yes.
Over to the white pickup truck.
Correct.
That's when you heard the vehicle honking.
Sometime in between there, yes.
And you heard it multiple times.
Yes.
And to the best of your knowledge, a honking horn from a vehicle would indicate trying to alert people to its presence, correct?
There are several reasons why a vehicle would honk the horn.
Would you honk your vehicle to alert people to your presence?
Objection irrelevant.
Grounds.
It's not relevant, sustain.
You said it would be multiple reasons that a vehicle will honk its horn.
Yes.
Describe that for us.
I heard, so the parade was on channel 3, so that's what I was assigned to. These radios also have the ability to scan other channels, so I was scanning channel 1, which is what the road squads were working on. At that time, I heard a call for service on channel 1 for the road squads to be dispatched to, and it was some sort of domestic disturbance or fight in Frame Park, which was east of my location. I heard squads responding to that from the south portion of the city, and Northwest Avenue or West Avenue is one of the main thoroughfares in our city to get from the southern portion to the northern portion, or at least to the downtown area. And I could hear squads coming from that area, so I blocked traffic to allow the squads to get through, and then I just continued on with my parade duties.
What happened next?
After that, approximately a minute or so later, I believe I started hearing radio traffic on both channel 3 and channel 1. I believe either a reserve officer or a community service officer on channel 3 requested an ambulance somewhere on the eastern portion of the parade route. I remember it was sort of towards the beginning of the parade. They were asking for an ambulance because someone had been hit.
Then what happened?
I believed that it was something stemming from the domestic or the fight, because during that fight someone had fled on scene and someone had been flagged down who had reported this incident. So I believed that the hit was something to do with the physical altercation that had happened. Moments later, this was all sort of spun out of control very quickly. Radio traffic became more and more difficult as channel 1 and channel 3, so as officers on the road and officers and community service officers and reserve officers were working the parade, everyone was starting to get on the radio, and more people started calling for ambulances. And then I could tell as people were calling for them, it was moving westbound on the parade route.
What did you do as a result of hearing that information on the radio?
It was tough to piece all together. I didn't know exactly what was going on. I knew something was happening, but I didn't know exactly what. I have a collar mic, so my microphone was approximately right about here on my chest. I don't have an earpiece. That's just what I use. So between trying to listen to the radio microphone and the parade, it was sort of hard to piece together. But after a few minutes, I realized something was happening, and I began walking away from my post, and I walked past my barricade sort of into the parade route. And as I did that, I was looking more to like northeast. I couldn't see that much of the parade because where West Main Street ends right there, it's got a hard turn to go southbound to Wisconsin. So I could only see approximately, I don't even know, maybe 100 yards or less of the parade route. And at that point, that is when I started hearing more screams. And this time it wasn't just screams on my radio, it was screams like in my vicinity that I could hear. And at that moment, I saw a red blur come past the Wisconsin House westbound and make a very hard braking maneuver to navigate the left-hand turn on West Main Street to go
there, and let's put
southbound.
Exhibit 1. Sorry. You're the only person at this 10-second mark wearing a yellow vest.
Correct.
Okay, we can clear that, please. Can we slow this down with no audio? Slow it down to about 50%, please. And play from there. we can pause it. We've stopped at 16 seconds. Does that portion of the video accurately reflect what you did that day? Move Exhibit 169 into evidence and ask to publish.
Objection.
Exhibit 169 is received. Permission to publish is granted.
Objection.
Noted. Overruled.
That is correct.
It looks like you're firing your weapon right there. Would that be fair to say?
I do not know if I have pulled the trigger yet or not. I don't believe I have.
You were readying to fire at that point.
That's correct.
Do you recall what you were aiming for?
Yes, I do.
Can you state for the record and for the jury?
You, Darrell Brooks.
Again, you make reference to the you and the name. How did you come to that? Seeing as how you just testified to that you couldn't see anything before what you called the Wisconsin house. Would that be fair to say that you testified to that?
That's correct.
And you also stated that you learned additional information later on. Would that be fair to say?
That's correct.
So how could you determine at this time right now where we're looking at that you knew the suspect's name and the driver? Because you keep referring to you and then you saying the name. How did you have that information at this point that's paused right here that we're looking at?
I didn't say at that time I knew your name.
You referred to the name. Did you not?
That is correct.
So how were you able to obtain the information about a name?
I did not know your name at the time I shot at you.
Who's the you were referring to?
Darrell Brooks.
Again, you say a name that you haven't answered how you came to that information. Were you told this?
Yes.
By whom?
I do not know who told me. Ultimately, I just know that throughout the course of the investigation, your name, you were arrested within 30 or 40 minutes.